how to awaken your intuition or your inner voice, okay? So you probably must have watched my other video about what intuition is, vampires versus witches, which is one of my favorite videos of all time. So if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it right now. And you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I don't have such great intuition. So how do I awaken my intuition? And that is what's coming up right now. How to awaken your intuition or your inner voice. Okay, I'm going to give you a step-by-step formula for awakening your intuition, your inner voice, and especially if you're somebody that's always using your analytic mind and your mind is always racing and thinking, you're going to need to do some of this homework because it's not readily available to you, okay? You've got a conscious mind and a subconscious mind, okay? I've got videos on that. Go learn about it. There's lots to know about it. When you've got your conscious mind is the one that's thinking all the time. You're always thinking things, you're analyzing things, you're remembering things in your conscious mind. Subconscious is way underneath where you're not aware of it. It's just there, but you don't really know it. But your subconscious mind is what drives you to do things in life. Your subconscious mind is also where your intuition lies, where your inner voice is, okay? So if you want to access that inner voice, that subconscious mind, you need to quiet the conscious mind a little bit. You need to, let's say, put him to sleep, but a little bit relax him. You want to take a time, maybe twice a day. You could start with once a day, where you just sit down in a chair. If you lie down, you might fall asleep, but and you just close your eyes and breathe deep and don't think. No thoughts, just be. Feel your breath, feel your fingers, your arms, your legs, feel your body parts. If there's a breeze, feel it. You could put on some gentle music or nature music if you want. Just feel being. I love doing this in a park or near a little creek, just being somewhere where you can breathe real air and just feel nature or feel your being without thinking. It's sometimes really hard when you've got so many things to do all the time. Your mind is just racing. Doing this before bedtime is brilliant because then it helps you fall asleep and sleep restfully as opposed to having your mind racing before you go into bed. But you just need to sit and turn off your analytic mind, and that way you can access your subconscious mind. Now, after you've been quiet for a couple of minutes, what you can do is you can ask yourself a question, okay? Let's say you're trying to make a big decision where to send your daughter to preschool. Or let's say you're trying to decide, maybe try with something. I was going to say that sometimes it's easier to start with the smaller decisions, but the honest truth is that I find that the biggest decisions of life are the ones that are easier to get a reading from your intuition, because it's just pushing you in a certain direction. So find something in your life that you need to ask a question to your subconscious mind, and just ask it. You know, where should I send Julia to preschool? And don't think, just stay in that place where you were of just feeling your body, feeling nature, being just not thinking, just be aware of being. It might not happen the first time, but when you do this a few times, an answer could like bubble up inside of you. You can feel a positive feeling towards something. Sometimes you have to think about the options. Okay, I could send her here, I could send her there. And here you might get like a funny vibe, and here you get like a nice vibe. There's something about just closing down your analytic mind, trying to access your subconscious mind, and just throwing something out there. If you're someone who does kinesiology, or you want to learn about it, I'm sure I have a video about how to do kinesiology or muscle testing. Sometimes where to start to access your subconscious mind isn't actually just muscle testing. Because when you're muscle testing, you know, you're pushing down on your arm to get a yes or a no, that's actually accessing your subconscious mind. So for myself, when I've been accessing my subconscious mind for a while, for a long time already, but when I started seeing clients and doing muscle testing with clients, using the body code, emotion code, anger management, the things that I do. When I started doing that, I started always with muscle testing to access the subconscious mind through muscle testing. But then eventually I started realizing that I didn't even need to do the muscle testing. You know, as soon as I'd ask the question, the answer like hit me. It just bubbled up inside of me and I knew the answer already. This morning I had a client and we were clearing her heart wall, and a certain emotion came up, and usually I have to ask all these questions. Is it from this or from that? And figure out what was involved. And right away hit me a certain relative had to do with. And I asked her, and I did the muscle testing, and it was right. And I asked her about it, and she just had so much to say about this emotion with this particular relative. And I was like, whoa. So sometimes if you feel like you want to do something physical with your hands, or you're feeling like you're not being successful at doing this just with the actual talking to your subconscious mind and having it bubble up inside of yourself, or maybe you're unsure of yourself, try muscle testing, try kinesiology, where you ask your subconscious mind a question, and then you use the kinesiology to get in. You don't use the hand, you use the arm, and you press down, and yes is strong and no is weak. Okay, so you can ask yourself a question, you know, like, should I go on this trip for the weekend or should I stay home with my kids? And you can ask yourself, like, you have to practice the muscle testing in order to get good at it so that you can get a good reading. But sometimes that's an easier place to start if you're having a hard time accessing your subconscious mind. Good luck with this. It is so worth it. It's worth it. It's hard work at the beginning, especially if you're someone whose mind, your analytic mind, is always racing and you're always trying to like figure out. We live in such a world where there's so much information available to us, and there's so much out there, you know, like you want to know the answer to something, Google it. Just Google it and all the answers will come up. You can even Google questions and then they'll send you to forums where other people have discussed these issues, you know. But so many of life's questions and real answers are not something that you can ask someone else. You know, you can't Google, like, what do I do with my child in this particular situation? Because no one else is raising your child. No one else knows your child. No one else knows what the right thing is for your child. Because sometimes they could be both right, or, you know, like, what do you know what to do? That's when you need to access your subconscious mind to know really what your inner voice is saying is the right thing to do in this situation. So as much as it's going to be difficult, if it's hard for you, so all that much more is it rewarding to access your inner voice, access your subconscious mind, access your intuition, and develop it more and work on it every single day until your subconscious mind, it's so easy to ask your intuition a question and come up with the answer, because that is the real you. If you need any help with this, or clearing trapped emotions, or accessing your subconscious mind, or working on any kind of muscle testing, kinesiology, I will leave my contact information below, and you can feel free to get together. I will see you on the next video.